Hi everyone, my name's Tracy and I'm from sweetbaylane.com, and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel you're going to find a lot of fun, simple, easy DIY projects. Today's project will be learning a simple technique for painting a timeless pattern we call buffalo plaid. Now, when you think of buffalo plaid, what comes to mind? Maybe a cozy blanket by the fire? Or for me, I think of my grandpa's warm jacket he wore during the cold Midwest winters. I believe the most fantastic thing about this timeless, nostalgic pattern is its transition into today's home decor. And with these simple techniques I'm going to teach you today, you'll be able to bring that warm, cozy feeling into your own home. The supply list for today's project is going to be a piece of wood, sanded and prepped. You're going to need a paintbrush. Now this paintbrush measures 1.5 inches wide, and it's a nylon bristle brush, and the bristles are sort of stiff but yet still soft at the tip. You're going to need your paint, and since we're painting a traditional buffalo plaid of red and black, I chose a deep rich red for the base color and black for the checked pattern. Next, you're going to need painter's tape. Now painter's tape comes in a variety of sizes, but the two most popular sizes out on the market are going to be the 1.5 inch and the 1 inch. For today's project, we're going to be using the 1.5 inch. And last but not least, you're going to need a palette of some sort to keep your paint on and dip your brush on. I just use a piece of old scrap wood or maybe a paper plate if I have them around, but you can use anything that you like. So let's get started. Now I went ahead and took the liberty of painting the base coat the red. I didn't want to bore you with just painting a base coat. I'm sure we all know how to do that. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull out a strip of tape, and you're going to lay it down on your board, and you'll lay it about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch from the top, straight line. And you can just eyeball it. Some people like to measure, but you'll get good at eyeballing after a while. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tear off a guide piece, and you're going to put that guide piece right below the bottom of the first stripe of tape. Then you'll just tear off your second strip of tape, and you'll put that right along the bottom edge of your guide piece. You'll tear that off. Then what you're going to do is tear up your guide piece and put it again on the bottom of your second piece of tape. And then you'll take your third piece of tape and put that right along the bottom of the guide piece, and so on and so forth until you reach the bottom of your board or project. Then you'll just remove the guide piece, and you'll fold all the edges down and around. Once you've got your tape on, you're going to want to paint the stripes that are left bare. And you'll just dab your brush into the paint, and you're going to just use a light hand and just drag it across the board. And if you get a little bit of a heavy hand, that's okay, because it blends right in. That still is going to achieve what we're after. And you're going to want to get the edges. So what I'll do is I'll just take it, and you just drag your brush lightly down the sides like you did on the top. Just drag it lightly. So now you're going to have your stripes painted this way. You're going to let that dry a little bit. And then you're going to peel the tape. to just save the tape to the side because you will use it later in the project. And you'll just peel the tape off. Then you'll turn your project, and this is what you'll have. You'll have your stripes with the dark going down, and you'll turn your project like this. And then you're just going to repeat the process as we did in the beginning. And you'll take a piece of tape, kind of just eye it up, put a straight line across, maybe a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of room. You'll take your guide piece and your second piece of tape you'll put right at the edge. See that guide piece? Right at the edge of that guide piece. Tear your guide piece up. And it starts going fairly quickly once you get the technique down. Looks like we have maybe room for one more stripe, maybe two. Okay, I think that's going to be what we have, the 4. And again, you'll just keeps wanting to stick to my board. You'll just put the tape around and make sure it's firmly pressed down so you don't have any paint bleed. Okay. So as in the first stripes, we're just going to paint the stripes, just a light hand. Now see, I got a little dark there, but that's okay. It'll blend in. And you can see the red is still peeking through the black. Just get all your edges here. Then, as you can see where the first tape line was, the demarcation between the black and the red. And that will be our next step. Okay, so the next step will be to line up the tape, the original tape mark, right in the spot. You see those lines there? You're going to want to just line that tape up and then press it down and get your second piece. This is where recycling your tape comes in handy. And then, like I said, you see those lines right there? Usually I take one of these and I just line them up. And then you just press it down. And you'll do that for your whole project until you get the whole thing covered like a checkerboard pattern. Oh boy, my tape, what a disaster. All right, here we go. And you just put the tape right there. And press it down. Then you're going to want to seal it around the edges. And you're going to want to just press those edges down at the squares. That is going to be key because that keeps the paint from bleeding underneath the tape and making your squares not square. makes them have fuzzy edges. But if you press the tape down good and secure, that square will fill up with paint and you won't have any paint bleed. And even if you have a little paint bleed, it's not the end of the world. Okay, and our final step is going to be just painting in the bare squares of our project. And don't get too much paint. You're going to want to kind of rush it because you're going to probably be excited because you've gotten this far in the project. But just enough paint to cover the red. If you get too much, you could have a little bit of paint bleed even though the tape is down. It's been known to happen. Okay, now you're finished with your project here, and you're just going to let that dry. And once it dries, you'll have the reveal. Okay, and as you'll see, I've got the edges of the tape peeled up from the back side, and we're just going to peel the tape off. You do the top layer first. Here comes the big reveal. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is so pretty. Oh goodness. If you didn't like buffalo plaid before, you're gonna love it now. And there you go. The finished buffalo plaid. Well, that wraps it up for today's project, and thanks for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, please share with a friend and hit the subscribe button to get notifications of future DIY projects. Also, in the comments below, you will see a link to sweetbaylane.com where you will find beautiful finished home decor as well as DIY kits that take the fuss out of crafting.